Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am scrapbooking this photo of my husband and my daughter working on the truck. I am going to be using this cut file that I got from the Creative Cuts Club, and I'm going to be using some oxides and some glitter glaze to make the starburst effect that unfortunately did not show up on video the last time I did it, so let's see what I can do. Now I can just tell you right away that I love doing this technique, and I think I'm going to branch out and try some different inks and also try out some different stencils just because I think it's so much fun and I can see myself doing it over and over again, but I don't want it all to be a starburst, you know what I mean? So I have these three inks. These are all Distress Oxides. Now, as you can maybe see on my paper, I did outline where my light bulb and picture of my husband and daughter are going to go. I didn't feel like I wanted to waste the ink and lay it down on top of where that was going to go. Like, there was no sense in laying down all of that ink just because you weren't going to see it. So I wasn't worried about that whatsoever. Now I am just getting this ink down pretty deep, I would say pretty thick, and I just did a little like almost imaginary line across the page to see where I wanted the ink to end up. Now I am inking on top of my Tim Holtz mixed media mat, or what is this called, glass mat. I don't even know the proper term for it. All I know is that he has a version out for the lefties now, and it really makes me want to have it because I feel like I put all of my ink and stuff over on the left-hand side of my glass mat anyway, even though I am not a lefty. So I have definitely want the stuff for the lefty. So then I did what I did there again. I just made sure to have a line across just so I knew where the ink was going to go. Now, the last time I did this, I did do it in rainbow, and oh, you guys, I do love a good blended rainbow. It's so much fun. With this one, though, I just decided to go with the three colors. I chose the purple, the blue, and the teal just because those were on top in my little Distress Oxide tin. So, I mean, no rhyme or reason. I didn't choose it out of any kind of photograph. Like, I didn't choose colors because of what was in the photograph or what they were doing, or I thought it was a particularly great color for a light bulb. It's just because they were convenient. So, yeah. I'm looking at this and I just had a moment where I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I legitimately had a moment where I just blanked. I was like, wait a second, something is wrong here. Why do I not have, like, I put this line across here and completely forgot this other section? Like, what's going on here? So I bring back out the purple and I fill in that as well. Now, the one thing I will say about Distress Oxides, they are definitely something that react with moisture. So if you have moisture in your air, if you live in a more humid climate, my word, people, if you live in a more humid climate, your Distress Oxides will go a little bit more chalky. So the day that I was doing this, now I live in California and we do not have a whole lot of humidity. It's actually a joke when I go to work or something and the people are like, oh, this humidity. And I'm like, you guys have no idea what humidity is. Legitimately, you have no idea. But the day was a little bit more humid and I did notice that my ink went a little chalkier. Like more than it normally does. And I'm okay with that. Like, I totally am. And the only thing I'm doing here to get the purple and the blue to kind of blend together is to use my blue on the blue side and then bring it into the purple, and then use my purple on the purple side and bring it into the blue. And you can see, especially up here at this top area, I'm pointing to it while I'm voicing over, so you can totally see what I'm doing, right? Up at that top area, you can totally see where it does react a little bit more and goes a little bit chalky. So I do put some Perper tape on my fingertips, and that is just so I don't get the oxides all over the other colors. I did that the last time I played with oxides, and I wanted to avoid it if at all possible. So as you can see, I'm like looking, I'm seeing where the tape is going, I'm seeing what I'm touching because I don't want to screw anything up. So now I've got this kind of harsh line where the teal and the blue meet up, and I'm just, what was I doing there? I think I added a little bit more Perper tape to my fingers, and I'm filling in the lighter gap. So the more ink you lay down, the more solid it looks, and it is a totally different look with what you do. So I'm doing the same thing here with the blue and the teal. I am just kind of mixing it in. And then I'm just trying to get a little bit more of a blended look, and I keep going back and forth over each and every area where it blends, because I don't want it to be a harsh line. I don't want it to be like purple, boom, blue, boom, teal, bloom, boom. I don't want that. I want it to kind of like soften into each other. Now, there is a point in this where I start putting my ink or my foam tool in the wrong color, but we quickly move on from that, and I really don't worry about it a whole lot. And this is where I'm just trying to get it a little bit deeper in the teal over here in the corner, and then I'm blending it again. And then here we go. I've got the blue, and I think this is where I dip it in the teal. Oh, that's where see? I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. So it really is helpful, I would say, to have multiple tools. Now, I only have 2 tools. I don't have one for each color. But this is one of those instances where it's definitely helpful to have it. So I'm happy with this. I'm feeling like it is a good kind of blend thing I got going on here. Really easy to clean off this mat when you're using Distress Oxides. You just spray some water on it and dry it off. And as you can see, I still have glitter stuck to the mat because I don't have the little tool scraper to scrape it off. So now I'm just trying to figure out where the light bulb and such thing goes. And now it is time to pull out the starburst or sunburst stencil and make it happen. Now I do decide to move the stencil off to the side a little bit now, because I know that my stencil is not going from the center of the page and radiating all the way out, so I'm not worried about it. Now this is the Vicki Boutin glitter pasty type thing, and I do add a little bit of Brutus Monroe blue glitter glaze into it, and I'm doing this for 2 reasons. 1, I don't have an awful lot of the Vicki Boutin left, and 2, I want to add a little bit more of a blue tinge to my glitter paste that I'm going to be applying. And it mixes up pretty well. The 2 glitters don't do anything weird with each other, like it works fine. And then I'm just going to kind of like put it out. I'm kind of starting in the middle and just brushing outwards or inwards. So very linear. I'm following the lines of the starburst. Boy, speaking is hard. I'm just mesmerized by the glitter, you guys. That's all it is. So that's what I'm doing there. Now, the glitter that is on the white area, again, you don't need to put it there because, yeah, like it's not even going to show. But it does help while I'm applying. And as you can see, the oxides are already reacting with the glitter paste and the moisture in the glitter paste, and the colors are changing ever so slightly. You can really tell with the purple, like that one is the big one. it definitely gives you the most bang for your buck. But I'm really super happy with it. I love the way that this turned out. And then as you can see, it's kind of like a messy starburst effect where you don't have harsh edges. Now here I am going to back this light bulb. Now I have this silver mirror paper that I got in a Love from Lizzie card kit. Just a little shout out for Lizzie's card kits. She is a beautiful person and she makes these absolutely gorgeous card kits. They come over from England and I have been a subscriber for over a year now and have not made one single card with her card kits. But I tell you, they are perfect for scrapbooking and I use the things in my scrapbooking all the time. So much so that like it's just regular old stash now, and I don't want to say that as like regular old stash, but it's not like something I'm like, oh man, I got to figure out how to use this in my stash. It is a stash item that I regularly use, if that comes across. So I'm using some Nuvo adhesive and I'm just gluing it down. This glitter stock up here, I believe came from Brutus Monroe, and I'm using just a little gum eraser to remove the adhesive off of that silver mirror finish paper. That way you totally see the mirror finish. Now this is a large cut file, so not a lot of intricate cutting. So this is a super easy way to do it. You just trim outside the edge of your cut file, cut right on the inside of your pencil edge, and then there you go. And as you can see, it's going to glue really nicely. Now I do trim off just a little bit extra, and then I'm using my adhesive to go around just the outside of the cut file, and that is because my photo is going to tuck underneath of the light bulb filament, so I don't want that stuck down to the glitter paper and not being able to get it back up when I put my photograph down. So it did come back up on me and I needed to press it down a little bit harder. I do find that glitter paper is a little bit tougher to stick on, so I do back it with a little bit of washi tape just to hold it right there. Now this is where my photograph is going to go. I decide that I needed to back the filament right here with glitter so you didn't see the photograph behind it. To me it just made sense. So I'm adding a little adhesive around there and then adding the little filament piece, and I'm just pressing that down, and I put that paper in between just so that the glue wouldn't go from the filament to the light bulb and get stuck down. I trimmed down my photograph ever so slightly. So I love using 6x6 paper pads to mat my photos, but when you have a 4x6 photo, they line up. So what I normally do is I just trim 1/4 inch off my photo, and then I have the perfect sized mat for my paper pad. Now this is a watercolor paper packet from Brutus Monroe, and I love them. Like, they just look great. And I thought that the colors on this one was absolutely perfect for the layout I had been creating. So I went ahead and grabbed some thickers. I grabbed 2 different ones. One, they are actually both Chamel thickers, I believe. I think. Don't hold me to it. Now, I do not have a G anymore in these Sparkle City thickers, so I decided to create my own using a Q and an ampersand, and you'll see how I do that. So I just cut off the Q so it looks kind of like a funky C, and then I cut off the little end of the ampersand and just make sure that it matches up with the funky C, and it does. And then I am pulling out these thickers. Now these are super thin chipboard thickers, and they are super painful, so they do have to get glued down. And I am using the title Let Your Light Shine. Now I am not journaling on this layout, but there is enough kind of like family legend stuff about flashlights and holding the flashlight. When my husband was a kid, it was a great honor to hold the flashlight for his dad, and like you had to hold the flashlight still, and there was like this whole big to do about it. And then it's not as a big of a to do in our family, but there's still that nod to it, so we joke around about holding the flashlight a lot. Now, like I said, this is not something I am journaling on the page for. This is more a pretty page. I mean, let's face it, there's not a lot of story other than Lana holding the light for Christopher while he's doing something under the hood of the truck. Now, Lana also worked on the truck that day, and like I just the story is more about like it's sparking something in you while you're looking at the album. And if you had no idea about the family history of the flashlights or anything like that, you would just look at it and see, oh, she's holding a flashlight, oh, let your light shine, oh, that's cute. So not every layout has some sort of deep wonderful meaning to it. Sometimes it's just fun, sometimes it's just to spark a story in your own self, like, so whatever. I'm happy with it, and that's what matters, right? So there it is, you guys. I believe that is going to do it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again real soon.